between yourself and anyone who is coughing or sneezing. Cover your mouth and nose with your elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of the used tissue immediately. If you have traveled recently to a country with COVID-19 outbreak in the last 14 days and you have a fever, cough, or breathing difficulty, call NCDC toll-free numbers before going to the hospital. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome to Abuja, the place that unites Nigeria.
Among the issues we discussed was the need with the resolution that the governors have taken to work together and resolve all the issues in the party.
All Progressives Congress postpones National Executive Committee meeting after the party's governors met President Buhari just as appeal court stops
the fact that we have not put in place a travel restriction today does not mean that if the realities on ground dictate that even before the end of the day, that will be announced.
COVID-19 update: Nigeria expands countries with high risks, advises Nigerians to stay clear. Nigeria announces 6 initial policy response to mitigate impact of COVID-19 on the economy.
If NTA must pay to cover the games, NTA is out.
National Sports Festival Edo 2020 organizers want Nigerians to pay to watch events on indigenous television. Hello and a warm welcome to the news at 9 o'clock on the NTA. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Reading with me tonight is Ugochukwu Ona in Benin. Thank you for joining us. The National Executive Committee meeting of the governing All Progressives Congress, scheduled to hold on Tuesday, has been postponed. This is the outcome of a strategic meeting between President Muhammadu Buhari and members of the Progressive Governors Forum. SIDA's correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
16 out of the 20 APC governors from across Nigeria attended a crucial meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari, who is the leader of the party. Discussions that lasted about 30 minutes behind closed doors centered on the leadership crisis rocking the governing party, its implications on governance, especially the implementation of the next level agenda of the Buhari presidency and the best way forward. Chairman of the Progressives Governors Forum and Governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, spoke to newsmen after the meeting.
We discussed about party issue and show appreciation to Mr. President, how he has given access to each of us individually and collectively. And among the issues we discussed was the need with the resolution that the governors have taken to work together and resolve all the issues in the party, in our party, and also to seek Mr. President support to postpone the National Executive Council meeting that was scheduled for tomorrow until such a time that the governors are able to report back.
Has he agreed to that?
Yes.
No date has yet been fixed for the National Executive Committee meeting of the governing APC. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Abuja Division of the Court of Appeal has ordered a stay of execution of the ruling by the Federal High Court Abuja that suspended Adams Oshomole as the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, pending the determination of the suit filed by Adams Oshomole. The appellate court, in a ruling by a three-man panel of justices led by Justice Yahaya Dattijo, issued an interlocutory injunction restraining the respondents from taking steps to give effect to the High Court ruling, pending the determination of the appeals filed before it by the counsel to Oshomole. The court wants political parties to resolve their differences amicably without resorting to the court. The court subsequently fixed Thursday to hear the two appeals. The order of the appellate court was in response to an ex parte application Oshomole filed through his team of lawyers, led by Chief Wole Olanigbekun, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. A meeting of the National Working Committee, NWC, of the All Progressives Congress is scheduled for Tuesday, March 17th, 2020 at the party's National Secretariat by 12 noon. The party's National Publicity Secretary, Lanre Issa Onilu, in a statement announced that all members of the NWC are expected to attend as important matters concerning the party will be considered. As Nigerians battle with COVID-19, former Lagos State Governor and APC chieftain Ahmed Bola Tinubu has advised Nigerians to be conscious of the invasion of a new sickness, which he termed Ambition Virus 2023. Reacting to the present political situation in the country, Tinubu notes that many in the political class have already been affected by the virus, instigating them to recklessly undermine the very party which they claim to serve and weaken the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. These overambitious elements, he said, have brought confusion as many may end up contesting against their own fate. However, the APC chieftain concludes his statement with advice that at best their ambition and ideas will be quarantined in order to not to fall prey to them, because this is the best way to assist President Muhammadu Buhari fulfill his mandate by those sincere members of the party. The federal government is putting in place special intervention for the development of science and technology. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this while declaring open this year's Science and Technology exhibition taking place in Abuja. He says the greatest resource Nigeria has is human capital, adding that the administration will continue to encourage youths to key in to the science and technology for the economic well-being of the country. President Buhari announced scholarship awards for the first 3 winners of the exhibition up to the PhD degree level. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State has formally briefed President Muhammadu Buhari on the gas explosion that rocked part of Lagos State, leaving in its wake the destruction of lives and valuable property. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
Mr. President was very gracious to receive me and to ask me about where we are and what has happened.
Armed with various pictures on the unfortunate Sunday morning incident in Abule Ado, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu showed President Muhammadu Buhari the extent and the level of destruction suffered by Lagosians as a result of the gas and pipeline explosion, which he described as better imagined. He told the president that a high-powered committee led by the deputy governor of the state has been set up to come up with full report on the immediate and remote causes of the incident, what can be done to avert future occurrence, as well as set up an emergency relief fund in aid of the victims.
For a 2 billion fund that we believe might not speak to all of the things, but at least it will begin to speak to all of the immediate challenges. And the state government immediately have instructed that 250 million naira should be set aside and put into that fund. Before I left too, I had given instruction that Loma, Neighborhood Watch, and also LASEMA, they've immediately set in motion a cleaning up exercise because we now need to begin to do restoration and resuscitation of the entire environment. So that, I imagine, had started now, so that we can begin to bring back some element of normalcy back to those communities.
Describing the incident as unprecedented in Lagos State, Governor Sanwo-Olu said his administration will henceforth be firm and fair on matters relating to public safety and security. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still on the Abule Ado explosion, the Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has set up a fact-finding committee to ascertain the immediate and remote causes of the explosion that rocked Abule Ado's Shoba in Amuwo, Dofin local government area of the state on Sunday. Nose Osula reports that the governor also announced a relief fund of 2 billion naira to assist those affected.
Over 24 hours after the catastrophe, residents are still reeling from the destruction by a blast triggered by a pipeline explosion at Abule Ado-Soba community in Amuwo-Dofin local government area of Lagos State in the early hours of Sunday. The explosion left many people dead and many others injured, and a large portion of the community in ruins. The tragic death of the principal of the girls' college, Reverend Sister Henrietta Aloka, said to be rescuing some students who were trapped in the boarding school but died after the roof of the educational facility fell on her, gives the shivers. An eyewitness, Femi Ekundayo, whose property was affected by the explosion, appealed to government to come to their aid and do everything within its power to put an end to such occurrences.
We do expect that they should meet with the communities, the landlords and residents of this place, and we can discuss issues.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who announced the immediate deposit of 250 million naira to the endowment fund for victims of the tragedy, said he has never seen a destruction of such magnitude and appealed to well-meaning Nigerians to donate generously into the fund.
I'll be opening up the account for other meaning Nigerians, corporate organizations who wish to support us on this journey. These are funds that we believe would help to quickly settle all of the various medical bills in all the private and public hospitals.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation earlier explained that the explosion was triggered after a truck hit some gas cylinders stacked in a gas processing plant near the corporation's pipeline in Abule Ado-Soba area of Lagos State. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has received the sadness the news of the oil pipeline explosion around Abule Ado in Amuwo-Dofin local government area of Lagos State that affected the residents of Ejegun, Ikotun, Igweda, Abule Ado, Okota, Isheri, Olofin, Festac and satellite towns. On receiving the news of the explosion, the ministry, through its agency, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, activated the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, with a view to rendering any assistance and disaster management expertise that may be required. The ministry added that it is working with the relevant stakeholders to provide national guidelines on industrial disasters such as pipeline explosions and will carry out pipeline safety sensitization programs in communities through which pipelines go through. The Minister, Saidia Umar Farouk, sends her condolences to the Lagos State government, families of the deceased, and all affected persons and organizations that have suffered one form of loss or the other. As we earlier told you, the federal government is putting in place special intervention for the development of science and technology. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this while declaring open this year's Science and Technology exhibition taking place in Abuja. Adamu Sambu's report is here.
The scholarship award winners were Akintade Ablai Akombi from Oshogbo Government High School, Osun State, Uwakwe, Nelson, Kamsi Ochuku, British Spring College, Oka, Anambra State, and Aimofunwe, Esyogbome, Sigmus from the School of the Gifted, Gwagwalada, Abuja. They emerged the first, second, and third positions respectively from the very competitive grassroots mobilization program aimed at identifying the best promising young scientists from across the 774 local government areas of the country. President Muhammadu Buhari, who commended the young scientists for their creativity and competitive spirit, described as reassuring that the nation's talented youth are constantly pushing and striving for greatness.
The future of Nigeria belongs to our youth. This administration will therefore continue to create the enabling environment for them to develop to the fullest their potentials. We will harness their energy and their talents to make Nigeria achieve true greatness. We will also continue to encourage the science, technology, and innovation sector. This is to ensure that the sector continues to play its very important role in advancing the frontiers of knowledge for nation building.
Noting with pride the remarkable ingenuity, inventiveness, and innovativeness of Nigerians, the President challenged the Ministry of Science and Technology to create needed opportunities towards providing solutions to the problems of insecurity, joblessness, poverty, healthcare delivery, and power supply.
Certainly, if Nigerian potentials in the science and technology sector are properly harnessed with the enabling environment created, we will take 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years. This remains my aim for Nigerians. There is no limit to how far Nigerian innovation can go. I am confident that working together in the pursuit of a common purpose, we shall succeed in our collective goal to build a great, peaceful, and prosperous nation.
President Buhari also made a case for the private sector to effectively partner and support institutions to carry out research in areas of greatest need for Nigeria. Senate President Ahmed Lawan represented and Speaker Femi Bajabiamila of the House of Representatives delivered messages of goodwill at the event. The Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, said apart from being at the center of all economic activities in the country, the science, technology, and innovation sector helped in creating over 900,000 jobs in the past 6 months of the Next Level administration and saving over 1 trillion naira in the importation of raw materials in both 2017 and 2018.
This journey is one that will take a long time for us to get to our destination. The good thing is that no matter how long it takes, if we work together, the end result is to transform our dear country into a truly great nation.
The Science, Technology, and Innovation Expo, fourth in the series, brought together researchers, inventors, innovators, investors, and entrepreneurs with a common objective of showcasing scientific products that can be utilized towards creating jobs and wealth, stimulating economic growth, and unlocking the door of a prosperous future for the country. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The federal government has flagged off a national integrated medical outreach program in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the occasion says the program is aimed at sustaining the country's strategy on immunization that has led to appreciable achievements and to further improve primary health care services in the country. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
As Vice President Yemi Osinbajo flags off the program on behalf of the President, says Nigeria, and indeed Africa, is on the verge of being declared polio-free, and this is expected few months from now as a result of effective implementation of the National Immunization Program, but agrees with medical experts that despite the efforts so far, there is a significant gap in bringing public health services to vulnerable populations, especially in the rural areas in the country.
The federal government is fully responsible for providing the required immunization, vaccines, in collaboration with our global partners to ensure consistent and sustainable availability of life-saving vaccines for all eligible children in Nigeria. We would ensure in the next couple of months that rotavirus and human papillomavirus vaccines are introduced into the national immunization schedule to prevent childhood diarrheal diseases and to reduce the incidence of cervical cancer in women. It is the firm commitment of the federal government of Nigeria that no child or individual should be without access to life-saving vaccines and primary health care services.
Medical experts in the country are of the view that child immunization has increased and reduced the number of child mortality. They, however, explained that there are indicators that significant number of children still die before the age of 5. Hence, the need for governments at all levels to increase the implementation of immunization program and ensure that every child is immunized.
The program's objectives are, amongst others, to reach underserved populations with basic medical and surgical services, to curtail the paralysis of circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus infections.
While we continue to make progress towards strengthening the health system, opportunities like the Integrated Medical Outreach Program provide unique platforms for the health system to bridge the gaps and make sure no one is left behind in the journey towards universal health coverage.
My advice to you is to ensure that just as the plan is good, you resolve to implement the program should also be upright.
The apparent good performance of the Federal Capital Territory is in most indices is still below the minimum acceptable targets, and we have to do more.
Here in Buhari, the conduct of the first round of the Integrated Medical Outreach Program has been flagged off for the unreached, underserved, and vulnerable communities in 409 selected local government areas in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Time now for some messages. The news continues after this time out. Stay tuned.
Welcome to our wonderful world of data with these incredible new offers from your #1 4G network nationwide. Glow Unlimited.
ABUAT, the pride of university education in Nigeria by NUC, makes history on 21st of March as it commissions 16 dialysis machines, a state-of-the-art blood bank and transfusion services, a certified helipad, a military outpost, presentation of 2 books, The Elusive Search for Nation Nigeria, and ABUAT Pioneering Education Renaissance, 10 a.m. prompt, 21st March 2020 at Afe Babalola University at Dwekiti. Expected dignitaries are the Ministers of Information, Education, Governors, NUC, OBAS, and other stakeholders. Let's celebrate another giant stride of Afe Babalola University. ABUAT, keeping the pioneering pace.
You can choose to do this with your stew, but not your data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# today. Data is life.
Airtel, the
smartphone network.
Introducing the new Nivea Dry Impact and Dry Comfort deodorants. Now with quick dry effect and longer lasting fragrance. Guaranteed to keep you feeling dry and fresh all day. Proven 48-hour protection and longer lasting fragrance from Nivea.
Never get caught unfresh with the new Nivea Dry Fresh deodorants.
The Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, in collaboration with Rivers State Government and Niger Delta Development Commission, will hold its 4th National Council on Niger Delta, NCND. Date 30th March to 3rd April 2020. Venue, Dr. Obiwali International Conference Center, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Theme, Achieving Uncommon Development in the Niger Delta region. The roadmap and strategies. Council members, stakeholders, and the general public wishing to submit memoranda to the Council should do so before 20th March 2020 to the Honorable Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Olushade Adeshola, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, cordially invites you to the launching and unveiling of the Nigerian National Broadband Plan 2020 to 2025, the official commissioning of the Communications and Digital Economy Complex, the launching of the Emergency Communications Center and 112 toll-free number, and the commissioning of the National Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship Training Center. Special guest of honor, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Chief Host and Chief Convener, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami. Host, Professor Umar Garba Dambata, Executive Vice Chairman, CEO, Nigerian Communications Commission. Date, Thursday, 19th March 2020. Venue, Communications and Digital Economy Complex, Mbora, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Announcer, Professor Umar Garba Dambata, EVC CEO, Nigerian Communications Commission. This event is strictly by invitation.
Victim Support Fund Abuja and the Nigeria Defense Academy Kaduna cordially invites critical stakeholders to an international conference on insurgency and counterinsurgency in Nigeria, critical perspectives on Boko Haram. Valuable discussions will be held around the nature, evolution and root causes of Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria, as well as the external ramifications for Nigeria, Africa and the world. The national architecture for counterinsurgency will be examined with a view to understanding its structure, operations and functionality, as well as solutions for defense and security policy. Date 17 to 19 March 2020. Venue the main auditorium, NAF Conference Center, Kado, Abuja. Time 9 a.m. daily. Special guest of honor, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Keynote speaker, General Martin L. Agwai, former Chief of Defense Staff, VSF. Rebuilding Lives, Restoring Hope. Professor Sunday Ochoche, Executive Director, VSF. Announcer.
Banter better with Coca-Cola and stand a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to the UK to watch a live Premier League game or your share of 400 million naira in instant cash prize.